Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bring forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and shalom to the believers, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. This lesson is entitled, The Plagues Are Not Slack.
Pneumonia that was in China, well, now it's here. It's in Ohio. And I feel like we've seen this movie before. We did this. And I don't think that we can do it again. This strain of pneumonia is being called white lung syndrome. There's been 142 pediatric cases in Warren County since August. I'm confused as to why we're just finding out about this now. And the Warren County Health Department in Ohio, so that not only is the number of cases above average, but it also meets the Ohio Department of Health's definition of an outbreak. They're saying that the illness does not look like a new disease, but rather several common infections hitting all at once. So then why do they have a special name for it? And why is the same exact thing happening in China? And how is it all a mystery? And apparently the Netherlands and Denmark are also recording mysterious spikes in pneumonia cases. I really hope that this turns out to be nothing and we're all just being dramatic, but this is literally the same exact time in 2019 that this shit started happening. And according to them, at that time, it was nothing to worry about, and then the entire country went into panic mode. That mystery pneumonia that was in China, well, now it's here.
To 11 U.S. states after just a serious pneumonia strain has been spreading across America this week after last week it originated and spread all across China. A new pneumonia outbreak has already spread to 11 U.S. states after just a few hours ago it was only at 1 state. As the mysterious pneumonia outbreak continues to spread throughout China, 11 states in the United States being affected by the mysterious respiratory illness. The increase is most notably in the South Central, Southeast, Mountain, and West Coast regions, the CDC reported. And according to the data collected, the CDC experts predict this year's respiratory virus season will look a lot like last year. This is currently what part of the map looks like. Green is not very many cases, red is very high, and right now it is not looking good for these southern states. On top of this new pneumonia outbreak, the U.S. faces winter syndemic. Experts say they warn of a potential winter syndemic in the U.S. as COV is expected to reach unprecedented levels, combining with surges in flu, RSV, and other pathogens. If you know of anybody that needs to make sure they're aware of this, share this video with them.
Do me a favor and stop scrolling for 1 second. Over 2 months ago, I posted about a court case that was happening in New York. A case relating to absolute tyranny for our medical freedom. Let me show you a little clip.
Isolation or quarantine order at whim. It didn't have to be a state of emergency. That quarantine order or that isolation order would determine how long you were in lockup or lockdown. They could have locked you up in your home, or they could have removed you from your home with the force of police as clearly delineated in 2.13. With the force of police, they could have removed you from your home and put you into a detention center, a facility, whatever you'd like to call it, whatever noun you choose, it gets you to the same place. It's not your home and you don't get to pick where you go. They could have locked you up there for however long they wanted. No restrictions. Days, weeks, months. There was no age restriction. So they could have done this to you, but they also could have done this to your child or your grandchild or your elderly parent. The provision said that they could tell you what you could and couldn't do while you were in lockup or lockdown. They could use the police in order to make sure you were abiding by their isolation or quarantine order. And if you disobeyed, you would be subject to either civil penalties, which could be up to $2,000 per day, and each day that you disobeyed their order was a new violation. So if you disobey their order for 10 days, that's $20,000 in fines.
Is there a cap?
I believe it was up to $2,000. Yes, Your Honor. And so there was the civil aspect, and then there was also the fact that they could use criminal penalties against you if you disobeyed one of their isolation or quarantine orders. And when we were at the trial court last year doing oral arguments, the trial court judge specifically asked, if you issue me an isolation or a quarantine order and I disobey, I don't want to go, can you get the police to come and arrest me and take me to a facility somewhere? And the Attorney General's response was a resounding yes.
We'll buckle up, New York, because that just passed. And yes, it took nearly 2 months, but it did. And it passed very silently. As you can see, there's been no media about this. And as you can see by this comment, it's just a matter of time before it passes in other states.
Habakkuk 2, verses 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, the wine being his own understanding and philosophies and ways. Neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Revelation 6 and verses 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And this is the plague that are being let forth. You have to remember that the CDC has all the plagues at their disposal. With that I say, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and shalom to the believers. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. Death and hell is none other than Esau, Edom, the current rulers. Shalom.